it would be really interesting because in comic form, I totally believe that Marvel would do that. They'd bring back a really cool sense of grimdark. And I think this could be really awesome. I should have put this bit at the beginning. Yeah. Grimdark comic, gonna be awesome. Movie's not gonna happen. I saved you 15 minutes. You're welcome. Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, but more importantly, Games Workshop teams up with Marvel. I don't know why I said it that way. So, do we care? What does it mean for us? Are we getting an Avengers style Warhammer movie? Because that's the real question, isn't it? We want to know if we're going to end up somehow in like 10 years time with an Avengers style Warhammer movie. Okay, firstly, for those of you that have not read this yet, let's give it a read. Yeah, you read that right. Games Workshop and Marvel are collaborating to create Warhammer comics. That's obviously going to be relevant later. Even better, the first comics are due to land in autumn 2020. Yeah, we know it's super rad. Cool. So it's going to be like a year. Nice. As everyone knows, unless they've spent the last 75 years frozen in ice. Ha ha, oh yeah. Marvel Comics are the name behind many of the world's best-loved superhero characters. You know, like Spider-Man, the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. And, you know, like Superman, Batman. Yeah, cool. With more than 80 years of comics experience, that was a joke. Please do not leave a comment about that. Okay. Marvel has built an amazing reputation for bringing together the best comic book writers and artists to forge stories that span generations. If not for nothing, it's not for nothing that Marvel has cemented itself as a household name. Because of the movies in Disney. But let's read the announcement. Our artist's impression of how you'll look reading these comics. Power armor optional. Nice. We haven't got any more details we could share right now. We like to imagine that, even as we write, super cool clandestine meetings are being conducted in a hidden layer somewhere. But rest assured, as soon as there's more information, we'll be bringing it to you right here. In the meantime, blah blah blah. Firstly, does this have any hidden Easter eggs? No. That's a shame. That would be nice. Okay. Right. I am going to give you my completely uneducated guess. This is like, yeah, I have no reason to say anything that I'm about to say. Are we going to end up with a proper Warhammer movie? Forget the whole Avengers movie. We don't need a cinematic universe. We need a good movie. Okay, let's talk about Marvel. Marvel obviously has recently been bought by Disney. They are currently the most successful. You know, Disney is terrifying. They are genuinely a terrifying company, and I am shocked that the US government allows them to exist and allowed them to buy Fox. Was it Fox they bought? Nuts. Anyway, let's not go into that world. That's not where I meant to go with that. Ignore that. Comic books. We're getting comic books. That's cool. What is the chance of Warhammer becoming a movie after the comic books in a very similar way that obviously superhero movies exist? Well, going from Marvel movies, how many Marvel movie like series are there? We've got Iron Man, Thor, Spider-Man, although that's Sony, but it's Marvel. We've got the Hulk. We obviously then have the Avengers itself. We have Black Panther. We have Deadpool. We have the X-Men. I'm running out. I'm running out fast. Captain Marvel. Can't forget that. That even has the name Marvel in it. So I got to nine. I got to 9. Are there more? I feel like there are more. Anyway, for those of you unaware of the comic book space, 9, you know what, let's round up, let's say 10. Hell, we could say 20, but it's not 20, so that would be silly to say. Let's say 10. because I'm sure I forgot at least one there. So 10 characters have had their own movies made about them. What are the odds? Could we get some odds for, you know, could we work this out mathematically? Well, I googled it. And there are 8,000 Marvel characters. That's not including the expanded universes. There are 8,000 Marvel characters, I believe, within, like, known characters that you can name and aren't just like, oh, well, this is version 67 of Superman. Okay, that was my bad. I didn't mean, let's say Spider-Man. Yeah. Woo. DC, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? So, the question is, you know, not categorically, why am I saying random words? Statistically, we are very, very, very unlikely to actually get a Warhammer movie backed by Disney. However, Warhammer, you know, if you just look at the raw numbers, but Warhammer has something that the other characters don't, and that is an established fan base. Now, you may be questioning, we don't have to go all the way to a movie. We could go with, you know, Marvel does a lot of series is on Netflix, which are now moving to Disney's own platform. You know, where they're going to continue, where they did things like Daredevil. Why can I only think of one thing? Fine, Daredevil. That's the only one I can think of. It was the only good one. Maybe we'll get one of those. No, we won't. Or it's almost certain that we won't, purely because, of course, we know that we already have a TV series in the works. And due to the way copyright typically works, for the manufacturing production company, that's the word, to go ahead and actually decide to you know, buy the rights for Games Workshop, they wouldn't have bought, we will buy the rights for this one book in the 40k universe, or we will buy the rights for, you know, 1 year or something. They would have bought the rights to, you know, create anything they wanted within the 40k universe on TV, is normally how that works, and it will probably last for X years, probably 10 as a minimum. So, we're not getting that from Disney, but of course we are getting that as its own separate thing, so that's awesome. I'm actually really excited for that. I haven't talked about it because I have nothing to say, but Marvel is interesting because Marvel is owned by Disney, and that means we could get a full movie. Can you imagine a full-on movie from Disney with 40k? They would do power armor correctly. Everybody would be a beast. However, Grimdark. Can we really see Disney doing Grimdark? Okay, let's think. What is the most dark thing Disney has done? I don't know, Toy Story 3. That sucked. No. I don't know. I mean, obviously, all Disney's movies have an element of darkness to them, but they are very much hinted at. They're in the background. I don't... As far as I'm aware, Disney doesn't even have a subsidiary, which is like unofficially Disney's horror branch, you know? Like, a lot of big companies will have subsidiaries which aren't connected to them in any way by name, and there's no, like, cross-sharing of, you know, profit or anything, but they are technically owned by the same parent company. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that is very much a thing. So, for example, Disney could have bought the rights to, you know, The Ring, and then had one of their subsidiary companies produce The Ring 2, or something like that. I know that The Ring 2 already exists. This is an example. And that could have worked, but I don't believe Disney has that. which is bad. So, anyway, that's kind of me rambling for long enough that I can stop this video. And, yeah. When I began this video, I didn't know the answer to my question. I just thought, hey, we might actually get a 40k movie. That's awesome. And as I have rambled here, I'm so sorry, my God, why are you listening to this? As I have rambled here, I've convinced myself that we are not getting one. That's really sad, because we're not going to get... Oh, but if we did, then it would be so toned down. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Deadpool, right? Deadpool's an example of gore, and to be fair, a lot of 40k grim darkness is just gore. And if you can get away with gore, then you could do 40k justice. You don't have to go into the bigger themes that grimdark typically is filled with. But I can't see Disney doing it because, of course, the reason Deadpool gets away with all of its gore and blood is because it was funny. And honestly, if Deadpool wasn't funny, I doubt Disney would have made it. Yeah. I almost managed to convince myself with Deadpool there that we might get it because of the blood. And that they are willing to put out movies that are, you know, at an 18 certificate. But yeah, I can't see it happening. Because 40k would not be funny. I mean, don't get me wrong. Guilliman is, of course, a laugh a minute. But, yeah, can't see it. Anyway, comics. I guess those are good too. Certainly, I will be really interested to see the art style they go with. I think that'd be really cool. For those of you unaware, Warhammer has done comics before. It was called Warhammer Monthly Inferno. And they had a whole, like, it was just a book of comics. It was always black and white. And they had some really good ones. Even now, like, what, 15 years, 20 years later, there's one that I remember really clearly. It was based in the old world. And it must have been really short. And it was just showing a group of mercenaries, you know, like human mercenaries. And one of them was wounded and injured. And the people around him, I think they were in Mordheim. But it might not have been Mordheim. It might have just been a city under a siege. I don't know. But let's say it was Mordheim. That's more catchy. And one of them was injured and bedridden. And his bandmates didn't want to kind of exacerbate his injury, so they went into another room and they like killed each other. as you do in Warhammer. It's like minor disagreement, let's kill each other. Classic Warhammer. And then kind of the final panels of it are kind of zooming out of the guy in the bed not knowing what's happened. You know, he just hears a commotion, and then as you zoom out, you see like a horde of undead like surrounding the building, and it's kind of just this really great sense of despair. And yeah, I thought that was really well done. And so it would be really interesting because in comic form, I totally believe that Marvel would do that. They'd bring back a really cool sense of grimdark. And I think this could be really awesome. I should have put this bit at the beginning. Yeah. Grimdark comic, gonna be awesome. Movie's not gonna happen. I saved you 15 minutes. You're welcome. Anyway, this is Glass Half Dead. Hope you have a good day. Goodbye.